Dodge, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard, Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman, or Wolf County need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This here's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Freaky Fat Boy Robert Brockway.
And I'm Freaky Fat Boy Sean, baby. I must confess that his reaction disappointed me. I suppose I expected more. Instead, he seemed friendly and somewhat focused, but ultimately distracted. Good work, Dukes, he congratulated me when I finished. I had to strain to hear him. I guess I'll have to call you Dragon Slayer. Dragon was his code reference to the Triad. However, I realized he was referring as well to the inner circle of spydom. The Dragon Slayer title was first coined during the Crimean War after the Russians released a British agent long believed to be dead. His capture had been credited to his willingness to expose himself in the pursuit of a murderous associate guilty of heinous war crimes. The mark had been seared into his flesh so that he could be easily identified if he ever dared to return to Russia. I couldn't help but feel pleased that Casey had bestowed upon me the coveted title that indicated respect and acknowledged accomplishment.
And I am award-winning author Jason Pargin.
So Frank Dukes has a brand? They branded Frank Dukes
he
with
does.
the word Dragon Slayer?
He came back with some information, and they're like, that's pretty good. You know what, though? Why don't we give you the title of Ultimate Super Spy? Get your butt cheek out.
I'm glad that titles work like in Destiny. I always assumed that they did, but I'm glad the spies also, like, you have to have a certain accomplishment, and then they're like, yes, you have unlocked Dragon Slayer. Nobody will respect you when they see that. They'll be like, what's this loser doing? Spending like 8,000 hours doing this pretend spy work. The Dukes podcast always derails my brain. We are a Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I always try at this point to explain to you what that show is. We don't know. We don't know what that show is. We don't know what our show is. It started as a Bigfoot reality show. Now it's 8 million things and none of them would agree with each other. Before we get into it, let's do our plugs, Jason.
I'm going to plug the Ames team's new show called Sons of Appalachia. Just search that term on YouTube. I said their URL in the last episode. Hopefully all of you have already gone over there. But if you didn't hear the last episode, Buck and Huckleberry and Wild Bill have spun off to make a show that will resume the canceled show Mountain Monsters as a YouTube show with zero budget and zero production crew, where they are just going to shoot it with their phones and with donations from viewers. It's going to be amazing. Meanwhile, it appears that Willie and Jeff are going to shoot their own rival show with even less than that.
Less than minus 10 budget.
So yeah, go subscribe to that. If you want to keep this going, go support their new venture. Buy their merch.
I'm so excited to get through proper Mountain Monsters and get into the real trash. Like once we get there, the two rival shows, the drama, I'm all here for it. If you're here for it, Sons of Appalachia, go subscribe to their YouTube channel. At least go watch. They posted their theme song video. What we didn't mention is it's an expositional theme song about the show and about them specifically. It's not about the vibe like the Mountain Monsters theme song. It's about Huckleberry, Buck, and Wild Bill. Mm-hmm. It's about... They tease what I assume is going to be the plot line. They have cursed hillbilly bloodlines they mention, and they also mention a hillbilly Necronomicon. They're doing the Evil Dead. I'm so happy. Just go support it. Go support it. Fuck everything we have to say. Whatever Sean's gonna say next.
Yeah, fuck this bullshit. I want to plug the Sons of Appalachia. I think their theme song it's pretty good. It's in no rush to get anywhere. It's like long half-minute shots of AI-generated forest.
It's AI. It's AI. The song itself is, I'm pretty sure, AI. So that's the level of garbage you're preparing for.
Yeah.
I actually have to do a serious plug. I know we've been having fun with my book plug jokes. I've been saying I won't tell you what the title is because in my contract it says I legally have to promote my book and I won't do it until I legally have to. It was fun. It's all in fun. A couple of weeks ago, we did actually enter that window, and I refused to promote my book on air. Again, I was totally joking. Haha, what are they going to do? Send me a strongly worded letter encouraging me to talk about my book. Today, I got that letter, and I just have one thing to say. My book is called I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200. It comes out January 20th, 2026. It's a horror comedy book. It's 352 pages. That's a good amount of pages. It's good. You have to buy it. It's so important that you buy it. I can't legally say why it's so important that you buy it, but you have to buy it. I fucked up so bad. I fucked up really bad. And now you have to buy it or something's going to happen. I can't tell you what that is. I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200 is the book. Go buy it. I thought I was being cute. Please buy it. Okay.
And a couple of episodes ago, I implied that Brockway's novel, which I have read, was some sort of a furry pornography thing. I did not mean to imply just because there's fursuit activity, that's not always sexual. It's not always a fetish. And I didn't mean to imply that. Now, it is in his book. His book doesn't imply that it's always sexual.
Well, chapter 2 is called This Furry Thing is Always Sexual.
Everything they're saying is a joke. It's very funny. It's not in the book. Legally, that's not what the book's about. It's not in the book. The book's great. I'm very proud of it. Everybody involved with it worked very hard. I don't know why I was doing that bit. Do you guys know how publishing works? Because like they give you money, right? And you're like, haha, fuck yeah. And then they say it's an advance. Do you know what that means? Because I thought it means like it's the most kick-ass money. It's like the vanguard of money. Like it's the money that comes first and is therefore the best. That's not what that means. I can't say any more than that. Legally, please buy my book. We're a Mountain Monsters podcast if you buy my book. If you don't, this is over. But for right now, we're a Mountain Monsters podcast, and we're covering the Dark Forest arc. It's getting hard to explain what that is.
I can do it. It's The Departed with Predator.
The Departed with Predator. You know what? Fuck it. Listen to the other episodes. I'm sick of going over it again and again. We're watching Mountain Monsters Season 3, Episode 8, The Secret of the Little Girl. That can't be the title.
I forgot about the little girl. It's The Departed with Predator and a little girl.
And in fact, in the opening sizzle reel of this episode, and for those of you who don't watch these episodes, when I say sizzle reel, at the top of every episode is like a 30-second long preview of all the cool stuff that's about to happen, which usually it's the guys like falling down a lot, with an announcer saying, and a familiar face comes back to blah, blah, blah. This one ends, this episode called The Secret of the Little Girl, ends with the announcer saying, tonight, the Ames team discovers the secret of the 3 rings.
He wasn't going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
In the recording booth, they handed him a script that said, tonight, the Ames team discovers the secret of the little girl. And he was like, nope. I am not going to have my voice on tape saying that. I am not going to be called to testify 2 years from now that I had some knowledge because I've not seen this. You just hand me some words to say no.
I can picture Colt just off screen slamming the script down and being like, God damn it. I can't wait until AI gets here. And we're going to make him say everything. You wouldn't say it. That bad news. That's the actual title. We're discovering the secret of the little girl. That's what this is about.
I think I can. All seriousness, I think I can sum it up. This is about as bad as anyone's ever done at a job. They came to the woods to get rid of a monster. They found 4 more. They got dominated by every human group they encountered, one of whom was only trying to help them. They got lost. They got mind-controlled. Two of them almost died from unrelated walks. They've broken into tears several times, and now Jeff is working for a rival team and the witch, and both of them fucking hate him.
And he lied about what a big deal he was.
Yes, there's a lot of deception all throughout that whole thing.
A lot of sadness and
So at the minimum, we have to explain the cliffhanger because this picks up the next second. So the last thing that happened was they witnessed Jeff, who is either working for the bad guys or being mind controlled or both, doing some sort of a mysterious ritual at the 3 rings, which turned out to be 3 wicker grapevine rings that we think was left over from a wedding shoot. And he was waving a torch around, but Buck had gotten his face caught on camera, on a trail camera. And the rival Bigfoot hunting teams couldn't have them discover that because if they did, something bad would happen. It's unspecified. But
Jeff.
So Buck
they would know Jeff is undercover.
The SD card out of the camera and has it in his pocket, and they're now hiding. Jeff is doing the ritual. Buck is hiding with the SD card in his pocket. The bad guys are coming.
See, I think all right, I think he has to take the SD card because the SD card caught a picture of their faces. And if the bad guys come and see, if they come and catch them, if they come and catch Buck and they take the SD card and load it up, then they'll know what their faces look like and they'll be able to track them at any point.
That's what I took from that.
That's my takeaway from that. So Jeff is out here doing the crazy ritual with the 3 rings, lighting the torches, walking through the 3 rings. And all the rest of the team comments on how crazy that is, except for Wild Bill, who says, well, he's just walking around the damn woods. Like,
this is normal for Wild Bill. Wild Bill is always completing the ascendancy each morning. Just he lives his life by the ritual.
I don't see any problem with that. I've done that. You guys never liked the 3 rings? What are you, squares? You a bunch of fucking squares here?
But they see a bunch of headlights coming, and they all have to dive into the woods, into the weeds, and hide. This is the first time in the episode that they will have to do that.
Probably the last. No one would do this the second time.
And so he sends Willie and Wild Bill running back to get the Forest golf cart to pick them up and get them back to camp. Always funny. Always funny.
And
Every time.
not to get them back to camp to escape the bad guys. They have to get back to the camp to get to Jeff's laptop so they can put the SD card into it and wipe the photos from it, get it out, rush it back out to the trail camera, and get it back in there before the bad guys notice that it's missing. Now, if this seems familiar, it's because it is beat for beat the exact same freaking thing that happened 3 episodes ago when they had to rush back and get to the laptop, and there's a plot point where Buck struggled to get the SD card into the hole because he tried to poke it into the USB slot or something.
Yeah. It's kind of the reverse of that because they're trying to get pictures off of the SD card and not... No, you're right. It's exactly the same.
If it seems even stupider than that, that's because he could have just handed the SD card to Willie and Wild Bill and been like, run back to camp, grab the side-by-side. You don't need to go get the cart and come pick me up and then ferry me. Time is of the essence. Right. We're on a ticking clock. You know how to erase an SD card.
Or just throw it away. Because if the bad guys notice that the SD card's missing from that trail camera, some kids could have took it, or maybe we forgot to put it in there. Or
also, they all know you're out. Remember, Jeff was doing the I'm going to betray the team that you all know is out here in these woods. Don't
start tugging at that thread.
I'm just saying, they know they're here. They've actually had encounters. They've physically seen each other. They know that they're here.
They did build half a cabin 100 feet from their base camp. I don't know.
They're out there in the middle of the night, just drunk as shit playing Predator. The road team's like, God damn it, you guys. I'm pretty sure like a couple episodes there was a plot point where they stood in front of one of those trail cameras and pulled the string to be like, now come get us. You're right. We can't pull that thread. That was up to Huckleberry.
Look, Huckleberry says it. If somebody realizes that card is missing out of that trail camera, Jeff is a cooked goose. That's all you need to know. Don't start overcomplicating it.
You're right. We're wrong. So they're driving down the road and they run into the truck that passed by them on the only road. My God, what are the odds? And Buck says, "We have no idea who that is." You don't?
To be fair, it could be any of 4 rogue team Bigfoot hunters. Or locals, campers, tourists.
The stakes are these guys are coming to check their trail cameras. We're trying to get back to the camp to erase it before they get here and then get it back. And then you dive off at that sign of their headlights and go, "My God, who is that?" No, that's the reason you're doing the... Oh, shit. So they decide they have to get the Forest golf cart out of sight so they can go on foot again. Buck says, "Pop it neutral," and Wild Bill feels the need to yes and that. So he goes, yeah, pop it neutral. We'll shove it Flintstone style. Nobody gets in and pops their feet through the bottom. They just push.
He means Walter Flintstone, a dude he knows whose car always broke down.
So then Buck says, "Willie knows a shortcut to get us back to base camp." They walk 5 feet that way, and they're at base camp.
It's so fucking funny.
The 3 rings, the road, the Predator from the movie Predator, the enemy camp. They're all 5 feet from base camp.
And their
like
idea of stealth is to
joke.
drive right up to somebody and then jump out of the way and shove the car into the bushes. Got away with it.
Willie knows a shortcut, and then you take 2 steps off screen, and then the screen, like, the camera catches up to you, and you're there. That's a Naked Gun joke, baby. Like, I've seen that one. So they do. They get back to the cabin. They find Jeff's laptop is password protected, which, as we established a couple episodes ago, means Jeff runs a tight ship.
That's right. Yeah, because it was not password protected when they did this exact plot line to get the photo of the black wolf off of the trail
So he
camera,
put a password on it. So he got the idea from the rogue team password protecting their SD card. He's like, "You can do that?" Oh, and I'm so tired I don't want to relay it, but Huckleberry thinks he knows the password and says, "Type in freaky fat boy."
And they all laugh like that's a joke. And then we find out after a very long laugh, no, it's just a really good guess.
Yeah,
That's his password.
Buck even gives my favorite line, the very sheepish, "We're in." So he gives 2 "we're ins." He gives a very serious "we're in," and then "we're in." I can't believe that worked. Like, it's their joke. It's not our joke to point out that that's stupid. Like, that's what they're doing. I am pointing out that it's wild to do that joke instead of the climax of this scene. Like, that's fucking crazy. That instead of like the big action scene of John Wick slips on a banana peel, and you're like, "What?" It's fucking crazy to do that. They save the pictures, they delete the card, they run off to return it. Willie and Wild Bill are standing guard while Buck and Huckleberry go to replace the card, very nearly stumbling through all of those other trip lines, and they act surprised. Huckleberry goes, "This is a trip line." Yeah. You remember the problem is you set off the trip line on the camera?
Yeah.
And you're coming back to...
And the stakes are what? Jeff might get fired from Hillbilly Altar Boy? Like...
His goose is cooked. It has been established.
You're right. My bad.
You're not paying attention.
He will be a cooked goose. I forgot.
But then the tension is that as the bad guys are heading toward them, of course, Buck is struggling mightily to get the SD card in the slot because they have established that this is one of Buck's few weaknesses. And the dialogue is, "I can't get it in there. Can't get it in there. Can't get it in there. It won't go. It won't go. Bail, bail, bail."
Just give up.
What they do when he says bail is, and I'm not exaggerating, I counted, they walk 8 paces away and then lay down flat on the ground. Not behind a bush, not behind a shrub, just 2 huge camouflage-clad mounds within the residual range of a flashlight.
Yeah, but that's what they have to do because lights are coming, so they have to dive and hide in the weeds for the second time in the episode.
Just a coincidence. They will not do that again.
74th time in the last 2 episodes. I love that. I love the idea of that scene so much, of that guy from the Rogue Team coming up to check the camera and very clearly seeing the two of them just like laying there on the ground. Because it's, again, even if you're not pointing the flashlight on them, like the light goes out in a pool, you would very clearly, there's no other objects, like it would highlight them very clearly and you'd be like, so what's going on, boys?
I know I've said this before, but it is clear if Jeff does do a lot of the creative lead on this, I feel like once it transitioned from Trapper to Jeff, the plots and the beats became more video gamey. That's when he started to get like the Lightning Man and gathering the 3 parts of the weapon. What did I say?
Jeff.
I can't tell these people apart.
You're right.
No, but when Buck took over as leader, you started getting more video game style plot beats, and this is straight up video game. Go get the thing, wait for the light to pass. Like there's no logic to it outside of a video game.
He's doing Metal Gear. They are the box.
Yeah.
But it's something you would never stage it in a movie like this because it looks stupid. But if you're used to doing it, if you're thinking in terms of, well, it was cool when I did this in a video game, it's we'll get just out of the way right when he passes. Like, well, in real life, that's not far enough out of the way. But in a video game, like that's just understood that, they have no peripheral vision.
Yeah, if you're playing Burger King Sneak King, that's plenty out of the eye line of the guards to sneak up and hand him a cheeseburger.
That is about the difficulty level.
Yeah.
Anyway, it works.
Buck and Huck are injured from this. I should mention that they're
from the walk in the woods.
Yeah, they're hardy men who had been outside before. They
turn into a little bit of a comedy beat because Buck says, "You guys got to give us piggyback rides back to the camp."
And then Willie says, "Thank God I've got Huckleberry." Which, all right, that's fine. I don't like it when they do the little jokes, but I'll accept it. So they're headed back to base camp, and Wild Bill says, "That sounds like the best idea we had all night, brother." Like technically, it is. It absolutely is. Buck is reflecting on the events of the night, and he says, "I can't even begin to count all the people we've seen tonight. It was like 8. It was like 8 people. It was approximately 8 people. And Buck thinks they missed something back at the 3 Rings, but somebody's coming up out of the woods, so they all draw down on him, and they demand, like, you answer us, or we're going to shoot. And he doesn't answer, and it's the light, the flashlight is still approaching. They've got their guns all pointed out in the woods, and the music drives in like it's crystal clear. Somebody is about to get shot. This is a real dramatic moment. And then Jeff goes, "It's me."
It's Jeff, and as we pointed out in the last episode, he is wearing his overalls and nothing else. His shirt is gone, and he says he's walking back, having lost most of his clothing, saying, "It's been a rough 24 hours."
By the way, guys, call me Sex Jeff now.
So Jeff tells them that the guy he went with last night took him to a remote shed, and yada, 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 now I'm nude beneath these overalls.
Took his balls out.
In an episode called The Secret of the Little Girl. I cannot emphasize enough how the title of the episode hangs like a shadow over everything that is said and done.
He really doesn't. He does not address why he's naked beneath his overalls now after disappearing with strange men who were very aggressive towards him for
and
24
you know what?
hours.
They do not ask.
Nope. He says he got in there and the guy was waiting for him, and he told the guy he had a nosebleed, and the guy was suddenly very interested in that. And he says, "Jeff, what else have you seen?" And Jeff says, "I told him about the little girl that pointed at me." And the guy says, and Jeff says, "When I said the words little girl, you could hear that man swallow."
Didn't like that.
Didn't like that at all. Take your time.
I don't want to be on a recording making inappropriate jokes. That's important because
God
I could
forbid.
be like an award-winning fancy author in my old age. I could be like somebody who people respect. So I can't have people digging into my past. So the episode is called The Secret of the Little Girl. I realize that to a normal person, there's nothing weird about that in a show that's about 6 elderly men hillbillies wandering around the woods. So in this episode that's called that, Jeff disappears for 24 hours, comes back partially nude, sits down and starts to tell the story of what happened to him in this episode called The Secret of the Little Girl. He says, he took me to a place in the dark forest I'd never been before. You could just feel the evil crawling all over your skin. He drove me up to his old shed. Looked like a barn. I couldn't really tell, it was so damn dark. When I got inside, he didn't let me stray very far. It's like they were hiding something in the back of it. There was 4, 5, 6 guys there. There's no reason to connect that the episode is called The Secret of the Little Girl, and then because they've established that it's like a magical, creepy little horror film, Little Girl. There's no reason to make that leap.
Certainly no reason to suspect anything when he comes back missing his clothes and not commenting on it after explaining that he was in this shed with 5 or 6 men with dark secrets. And that the guy swallows a lot. That there's a man there that swallows when you talk to him about little girls.
When I said little
that's...
girl, you could hear him swallow.
Can we find a better way to phrase that? I know we don't do second takes, but we can start. Can today be the day we start?
Can we just delete this whole episode?
Buck,
I'm hearing myself say a lot of this stuff out loud.
Buck, is it revenge for the time I said the Predator from the movie Predator was here? Because I'll take that back. I'll take it back if you take the little girl stuff back. Can we just... Is this mutually assured destruction? Is that what we're doing right now? So the guy, the leader of the Rogue Team 4, he wanted to know if Jeff had talked to the little girl, and then he showed Jeff how to do that ritual he did at 3 Rings, which was lighting a torch, passing through a ring. And he said, if Jeff gets through the final ring, if Jeff is the chosen one, she would come. But that little girl, she didn't come. She didn't come for Jeff because he didn't talk to her first. She'll only come if you talk to her first. I'm literally quoting the episode here. I'm just quoting the episode here.
The episode's almost over, isn't it? And are we? This goes to the final minutes of the episode.
This is.
For a moment, I really thought that Jeff had gone from like the lowest crybaby employee of this place to the chosen one. I thought, good for Jeff to come back with the story of I'm actually the chosen one, guys. And even then, he's like, no, the little girl didn't come for me.
All right. Man.
I know how it sounds, but that's how he puts it.
They're so innocent-minded that none of this sounds bad to them when they say it. It's actually good. It's good that they don't hear the phrasing. Even though the announcer did and refused to announce the script they gave them.
So Buck, hearing this, gets all shaken and says, I gotta go get some firewood. Now, Huckleberry knows something is wrong because Buck just volunteered for a chore. So he goes out to see what's up with him. Buck says he realizes he has to tell the team the same thing that happened to Jeff out there is happening to him now. But back when he got lost in the Lost Woods, before he followed the Sound of the Mountain Monsters theme song down the correct path to find his way out, he found something down there. Something happened to him. And so, remember, he borrowed one of the cameras because Liam, the cameraman, apparently quit the whole show rather than go back out there again. And Buck went off alone.
But none of them know that because Buck is telling them all this for the first time. He's like, hey, the other night when I went out, Liam lost me for 2 hours. And they're like, what? Really? That feels like they would have known that because that was on their own TV show. And they would have brought that up during a crew meeting. Guys, we got to get some new safety protocols because we lost Buck last night. And I feel like they'd remember that. I don't know.
Also, one of our 2 cameramen is gone.
Colt said, you must forget that I said this forever. I don't know. I don't understand how they couldn't know this.
For why Buck would hide that from the team when the thing that happened to him is just the same thing that's already happened to another member of the team, to the point that this whole plot line is just repeating stuff that they've already done like 2 episodes ago. As for why he needed to hide that from them and get an entire episode out of the fact that he just refused to tell them, like that's, like, as for why he would do that, like, I can see why I can see why it would seem unreasonable. Like, it's not immediately clear why he needed to keep that a secret.
God, can you imagine the like the whatever ritual they do to like get themselves hyped before going to like film an actual episode when you're 7 episodes deep into a continuous storyline that you've been improvising and it's gone off the rails this badly? Like, how do you start to like, all right, let's go, boys, let's get rallied up. Huckleberry, I think you were fighting the movie from the movie Predator. I think you were fighting the movie Predator. You're still doing The Departed. I think I'm now also doing The Departed. I did not mean for that to happen. I don't know how that's happening. We're both like, Blair Witching it. That's
Buck
not going to
is
work.
more of a Blair Witch guy, so he's trying to add more Blair Witch to their Departed Predator movie.
But what matters is that he's going to come clean, and he's going to come back to the campsite and sit down and say, guys, so I have had an encounter with this little girl.
And he's going to show them the video that he saw on his phone that he wouldn't tell anybody about. And that video is him talking to the little girl. And it's filmed from somebody else's POV. Presumably the woman of the woods?
Yeah, I think what they accidentally did here is they added a new monster. Because someone is holding the camera. We know it's not Liam because he is not there. And it's not Predator because you'd hear the clicking. Plus, his heat vision would be terrible for cinematography. We all know that. It's not Bigfoot because they forgot about it. Plus, it would be higher. You see, Bigfoots are tall, which is why the branches break at tall places. That's how you know it's a Bigfoot. It can't be the black wolf for reasons that are going to sound obvious after I say them, but wolves can't use phones.
Okay.
So what I think what this is a new creature that can work a phone. So, oops, we have a new monster.
But do you know who that's not going to occur to? Anyone watching this video
nobody
around that campfire, none of them are going to ask, well, who's holding the camera?
Who took the video? So, it's incredible that they do this. And then, okay, so he walks away with the little girl holding his hand, and then she leans in to tell Buck her secret. I'm still not making any of this up. That's what happens. This is not a bit. They did this to themselves voluntarily. I just want to know, what do you think she whispered?
I wrote down, they will never tell us. This is one of those things in a movie where like a character whispers to another.
It's a loss in translation.
It's a loss in translation, for sure. Buck's favorite movie, we know that.
My microphone stopped working. I offered a guess, but it didn't capture it. It's fine. Just move on. I don't want to.
I think maybe this is the funniest thing the show has ever done, is after all this, just this pathetic avalanche of failures, Buck says, we just got the upper hand.
Did you? So
we just watched him get like placed into the Blair Witch position by a little girl.
Yeah, she puts him in the Blair Witch position with his head against a pole, and on top of that pole is an animal's head, or the most adorable papier-mâché animal's head you've ever seen.
Okay, this is they're going to pan up to show that, and like Wild Bill or somebody's going to say, well, that looks like the Black Wolf, which it does not. It's like a pale... Is that supposed to be a severed animal head, or is that supposed to be like a totem? Like, because it's visibly like a papier-mâché.
Yeah, it's
craft.
visibly like a fourth grader's
but
best
in
effort.
The fiction of the show, is that them trying to say, hey, the Black Wolf is dead? There's its head. Because if so, that was a sad attempt at an animal head.
God, I hope not. I thought it was like a totem for the Black Wolf.
That's probably what it is.
They say that,
usually,
that looks like somebody says that looks like a severed wolf's head. So like maybe there may be. In which case, that's a hell of a disappointing way to find out that every American Indian who dies is now doomed to purgatory forever.
It's a real bummer.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Again, this is half the reason they're here is because the Black Wolf was going to escort Jeff to the afterlife because he is full-blooded Shawnee, and it meant that he was going to die. So I guess that danger is over. We've moved on to...
Now, I thought it was to capture the woman in the woods so that they could find out who killed the Stonish giant. And before that, I thought it was to go to the fucking coordinates.
Haven't they gone to the coordinates by now?
No! And in fact, here's another severed animal head, probably full of clues, so that the rogue team puzzle master is back there going, look, in the animal head, there's coordinates there. They're the same ones I gave you before. I'm giving them to you again, because you didn't get it.
That's probably what
You
the
don't
little
just
girl
look at 'em.
whispered. Like, asshole. Jesus fucking Christ.
Go to the coordinates. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? We ransacked Trapper's home and left the coordinates in his safe. Why do you think we went through... We destroyed the man's home so that you would be forced to...
Jeff fisted a hog for those coordinates. Jeff fisted a hog to completion for those coordinates.
A sheriff canine unit led you to the bleeding body of your mentor in a room with all of the pictures, including the coordinates.
So, okay, I guess we have to, in this next part, we have to bite the bullet. Because the resolution of this is Buck tells Jeff, I want you to go back to this other team and find out why the little girl is the key to everything. And you tell them that I've talked to the little girl. So Jeff is going to, his instructions are going to go back and say, hey, the Ames team is here. Buck from the Ames team has talked to the little girl. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to make a deal.
We've got the upper hand. I'm undercover.
Then, in the next breath, the other task they need to do is they left that golf cart. Remember when they dove out of the headlights and they shoved it off into the weeds? They got to go get that thing and bring it back to the camp, because once daylight hits, it's going to be visible, and those other guys are going to see it, and they're going to know that the Ames team is here. So, Jeff, you need to go back and tell them the Ames team is here, and that I'm ready to talk to them because I've talked to the little girl. That's the key to everything. Meanwhile, the rest of us are going to go get that golf cart so they won't know the Ames team is here. Now, I think I have missed something somewhere along the way, because I thought when all the way back at the first, when Jeff was acting bitchy and we thought he was possessed, but it's like, no, he's just, he says, no, I staged an argument because if I had not started start a fist fight with you, it wouldn't have been convincing for this rival team. They had to see me fight, and then that's why they accepted that I had defected to them. But that only works if they were being observed, right, by the rival Bigfoot hunting team. Because remember, they kept making a plot point like, we can't have this conversation out here in the truck. We got to go in the barn, because if we're out here, they'll hear it. Like, these guys have eyes everywhere. Is that how you guys understood it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, of course.
I think they've forgotten.
Okay, so the premise from the start was that when Jeff defected, that it was Jeff from the famous Ames team. He wasn't pretending to be like a hobo who broke off with his homeless friends from the homeless encampment and just came and asked for a job. It's like, I'm the famous Jeff, the researcher from the show Mountain Monsters. I'm defecting to join your thing. Like you saw us out here. Is that how you guys understood that? Yes.
A little more pee, but yes.
So was the premise this whole time, because every single tense plot point has been about avoiding these tripwires, avoiding being seen by the trail cameras. Every time headlights come, we dive into the weeds. Is it because they were saying that these guys know the Ames team is there in the dark forest, but just not specifically where? Because they've been there for...
Maybe they thought the Ames team has left. Like, Jeff abandoned them, and Jeff was so integral to the Ames team that they just completely disbanded.
But they've been there for like 10 days now, and they built a cabin using noisy chainsaws, and they've been out with a full TV production crew and their own noisy golf carts. I will admit, I legitimately don't. Because, like, for example, when they built the electric fence, they didn't build it saying, "Hey, if this rival team comes across us, because they're gonna come after us." Like if it was only to defend against the Predator from the hit film Predator. I legitimately, now that Brockway made me start thinking of this, and I'm now, by the way, I'm beside myself with rage. I legitimately now sitting here realize I'd never understood what was going on the entire, what is this, episode 8?
I think you're overcomplicating it. I think this is when you tell like a 2-year-old, let's play hide and seek, and they go stand behind a lamp, and you're
Right.
like, okay.
Where are they?
They think because the lampshade is blocking my head, you can't see the rest of me. I can't see you can't see me. See, they thought if they got that SD card and erased their faces, they would just forget that they're like not there entirely. Because that's what they would do. That's what they would do. Like they've literally said, I forgot I was hunting the Black Wolf. I forgot about the Stoish Giant. I forgot about everything we're doing. Like one episode to the next, their minds are just mementoed straight out of there. They're just doing a full memento every single episode.
Also doing a memento? This is amazing.
Because
Well, I
it's
think
not,
maybe they literally are, like the people.
not on purpose. Because it's not like I'm making fun of the fact that they forgot something they said 5 episodes ago. Because even real TV shows do that. They'll get mixed up, and it's like, well,
Real
actually,
TV
you remember,
shows.
he's supposed to have known about this already. It's in the previous sentence.
Yeah, they'll start a sentence.
We've got to go erase the evidence we were here. Jeff, tell them that we're ready to talk. We're going to do those two things in parallel.
It's incredible. And then
I've held up the whole thing. I apologize, listeners. I realize that this is a dead end. I just...
And then
I
they
think we had to
have
get into
so Willie and Wild Bill are going out to go take their car back. I don't know why we're doing are we doing a dude where's my car now? We're doing a dude where's my car now. They're going out to get the Forrest golf cart back. And when they see headlights, and you know what it is, time to hunker down.
Time to dive into the weeds away
Gotta
from the
hunker down.
headlights for the 3rd time in the episode.
Take that hunker drink. Oh, it's a hunker drink. And then it cuts to a time lapse of the moon, like they've been out there for 6 hours.
Hours, yes, it is implied. They laid in the weeds for hours, and that's not the last time that's going to happen in this episode.
I also just want to point out they did a time lapse of the moon to establish time passing. Like they know theoretically that you can do
that's
this. So every
frustrating
time
that they know what that looks like. Yes.
yeah, every single time they like Willie knows a shortcut and then they walk off frame into the camp. They knew they could have just done that shot of the moon would have been fine. But eventually the rogue team leaves and Willie and Wild Bill go get the Forrest cart. Woo, they scream, and they fist bump, mission successful. We picked up our car.
Yeah, celebrating
Then we
like
left.
they saved the world.
They got their car back, is what they got. They found their car after ditching
golf
it in a
cart,
panic. Yeah,
Possibly
I'm
to some
generously calling
tourists
it
or
that.
some campers.
Because getting their
it's
car
a-
back implies even more than getting their golf cart back.
Then it just flash back to Buck watching headlights go down the road going, we have no idea who that is. Like, they're just gold fishing out here. Back at camp, Buck and Huckleberry get a text from Jeff who tells them Rogue Team 4 blew up when he told them and that they're coming for you and they're coming hard. And we don't mention it anymore, but I put like $200 into the unintentional gay joke jar. Like just this episode.
Also, there's a wonderful moment where Buck seems confused. It's like, for them to immediately after Jeff told them that I had spoken to this little girl and they immediately come after me, they must really want me bad. It's like, are you sure they didn't misinterpret what Jeff told them? Like, they may be angry and coming at you with torches and weapons for
Yeah.
a different reason.
Because they do. They
It's gonna be
they
a Comet
send-
Pizza type posse.
Show us the basement of your cabin. We know Willie built a basement. So they send Buck to hide in the woods while Huckleberry, Willie, and Wild Bill hide in the cabin protected by the electric fence. They even say, like, behind the electric fence. As though that's going to do anything at
Pissed
all
me off
against
so
people.
much. They
But
showed
again,
Buck touching
not-
it. The battery is where you can see it and unplug it. And
it wasn't meant to keep people out. It
wasn't.
wasn't. It's
None
not
of them
designed
are.
for that. But also, there's not a plot point here where the bad guys find out where the cabin is. It's just, hey, they're so enraged at you, they're now coming out to your camp.
Yeah, they knew
So
the whole time.
Again, the implication is that the bad guys have always known, oh, this is where the Ames team has built their little hideout. They're here, operating here in the dark forest. So if you go back and watch this season from the beginning with the knowledge that the whole time the bad guys have known where their camp is and known that they're all out there, it makes some of their decisions questionable.
Well, I think I can just picture the leader being like, they're harmless. Let them have their fun out there. They're not hurting anybody. Don't let them talk to my little girl. I'm going to fly into a rage if they talk to my little girl.
Because, again, there was a plot point. I don't know if you remember, but earlier in the episode, 5 seconds ago, there's a plot point where they went and got their golf cart back so the bad guys wouldn't find it. And because if the bad guys found the golf cart, then they would know not the location of the camp. They already knew. Not the fact that they're out there. They already knew. That's what Jeff went to tell them. So we retrieved the golf cart and treated this as an incredibly tense scene, complete with a headlights hide moment, only to, in the very next shot, say, hey, they're coming. They're coming. Not they're coming because they saw Willie and Wild Bill's, stealing the golf cart. And, hey, oh my gosh, they got caught. No. They're coming as they could have done at any moment because, of course, they know where the camp is, and now they're mad because Jeff went and said, "Hey, Buck had an encounter with a little girl. He wants you to know about it. He's got a video." And for some reason, they're charging out there with their guns.
Is it possible that their golf cart is just the kind that's for pussies? Like they've got the Volkswagen Jetta of golf carts, and they're like, we cannot let them see that.
they would see that.
We're never going to live that shit down.
Anyway, the bad guys arrive, and at the side of the headlights, Buck has to dive into the weeds for the 4th time in the episode.
Take that hunker drink.
I wrote down Buck's plan. The rest of the team's going to go into the cabin and turn on the electric fence. I'm going to go hide in the woods.
Great plan. When they roll up, Buck says, "I can't tell you how many guys that is." And then the next scene, Huckleberry says, "I count a dozen of them." There are actually
Buck
4.
went to public school in Virginia. He can't fucking count to 12. Don't be a dick.
There are actually 4 guys, probably 2, doing costume changes since they won't get more than that in any one shot. They keep doing tight, shaky shots of a guy in a sweater with like another guy in the background. You'll only ever see 2. So it's 2 guys.
You'll see the same thing whenever they talk about there's got to be 10, 12 golf carts coming. It's always a shot of 2, another shot of 2, another shot. It's like, well,
It's
there's
just what
2
they got.
more. 2 completely different golf carts. Wow, another 2. Look, coming down the lane.
I swear there's like an identifiable wobble on one of them that I've seen before. And no time for this. I love the sequence. Buck says, "Can't tell you how many guys." Huckleberry says, "I count a dozen of them." The camera shows us 2. Really good sequence.
But also, these guys surround the cabin. They're all armed. In the fiction, there's 12 of them all armed, and they're basically like, hey, you send out Buck. He's got to answer for his acts. He knows what he did.
He knows what he
or we're going to
fucking
kill
did.
everybody in there. And the thing is, they're trapped. Like, they couldn't just call the police because they're in the middle of the woods. We know for a fact that they don't have cell phone coverage out here. Otherwise, they would just call the cops and say, hey, yeah, there's like 12 dudes with guns trying to kill us.
But by the time
because the police do exist in this universe, they were just here a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
By the
Just
time the
saved
cops
Trapper's
get
life.
there, their cabin is like 50 feet off the main road. Like, they're never going to get there in time. I just like that once they get there and they see the cabin and Willie's electric fence, the main guy takes one look at it and says, "In 10 minutes, we're going to cut your wires."
This setup may keep out the Predator from the hit film Predator, but it's not going to keep out humans with human level intelligence who can just look and see the 3 car batteries you've hooked up to it.
"I'm going to cut your squirrel fence down. In 10 minutes. And I want to be clear, I'm going to do it by grabbing it and then cutting the wire, because 64 volts is not enough to even really tickle a human. It does nothing. Even in fiction, they have to clarify Willie has done nothing this whole time. He's made his terrible camp. He made a maze that we don't even talk about anymore for an animal that's just
story,
dead.
I think.
That's just dead separately to something else. Turns out you can just shoot it. You didn't have to trap it in a labyrinth.
It's vulnerable to just regular old bullets.
Well, they say
not even a lot of them. There's only like 3 gunshots.
I want to. Can we introduce this idea to every single hunt from now on? When they're like, they say the grafted monster can only be tricked by a riddle, and somebody else go, have we tried shotguns? Because like when you said the labyrinth thing about the black wolf, and we tried shotguns and it worked real good, real good.
Made that new guy cry.
Giant. The Stonish Giant, its only superpower is that it used like hardened mud as an armor. Therefore, that meant it took 2 shots to bring it down instead of just the 1.
Works real good, man. I don't know. We've broken the seal on this.
By the way, when the bad guys are all there, and there's this ominous moment where finally the boss arrives, and it's that boss who says, "In 10 minutes, we're going to cut your wires. In 20 minutes, we're going to set that cabin on fire." It rhymed. I do not know if he meant that to rhyme, or if this is like a whimsical supervillain they've introduced. If so, I am so excited.
I'm so Sean Baby poisoned. I immediately thought they're dealing with dolomite as soon as he said that. He got in my brain. So Buck has a plan, and that's to get everybody to the front of the cabin. He hands a pistol to the cameraman. Like, you may need to use this. I assume on Buck when he's captured. Like, you may need to just shoot me, because this is not going to go well.
Add this to the reasons none of these cameramen want to work with Buck.
I like the ongoing joke that we're slowly naming and then killing off the cameramen. Like, I picture whoever this was just died in a gunfight, like off screen. So they've gone through so many. Pablo didn't come back. There's no way Pablo's back on. So Willie opens the door a little bit and says, "You guys want to talk to Buck?" They don't even answer. They just start lighting Molotov cocktails, which I thought was very funny. Like, you guys want to fall for a distraction? They're like, "Nope, I'm just gonna burn you down." It works though. It's all a distraction for Buck to sneak around back to jump in one of their forest golf carts and steal one. And he says it's his cool guy moment to shine. And he says, "You guys looking for Buck?" And then he does 2 little beeps on the forest golf cart, which, because it's a golf cart, means 2 weenie little clown honks. He goes, "You guys looking for Buck?"
Beep, beep.
It's the least
so
tough
hard.
anybody's ever looked. Oh, god damn it. So he takes off and they all chase him, meaning the team is safe while Buck is leading them on this low-speed golf cart chase.
Yeah, he's in terrible... There are 12 men chasing Buck, and he has no means of escape. Does
anybody remember the original plan was to have Buck, who was important, who were they coming for, hide in the woods while they distracted them by going in the cabin? Because now they're all chasing Buck, and now they're safe. Now the guys in the cabin are safe. This is 180 degrees in like 4 minutes of showtime.
It's also worth mentioning that everyone in the cabin is armed. Like, they could just start shooting from the cabin. They have a defensive position. If these guns did anything in this universe, they have a pretty good shot at just killing these 12 men. Yeah, something to think about.
Or you could have just not gone in the cabin and like laid there in the woods. Go lay behind a tree in the woods.
Set up an ambush. Let them surround the cabin. Yeah, they think you're in there. Yeah.
Or like from the movie
tell
Predator.
the Predator, or drop their weapons, and the Predator will kill the bad guys because they have the weapons.
But what matters is that now Buck is leading them on a chase through the woods, and then now there's a vehicle coming up behind him, and he realizes, oh, wait a second, we have no budget for like a car accident situation. We have no way to resolve this. Only one move we know. He has to pull off. Headlights are coming. Dive in the weeds. 5th time, baby.
5 hunker drinks. You're so shit-faced right now. Nobody's making it out of this alive.
I loved like his dialogue, how they kind of narrate as they do the things on this show, and he's like, "Ooh, there's a mud hole. Oh, there's lights there. There's lights there. There's lights there." Like, yes, the men chasing you have lights on their vehicles. So his plan was just panicking at shapes and lights. Is my point.
He runs out and he does his move, which is to just run out into the forest and to lay flat and hope they don't notice the giant buck-shaped lump on the forest floor. He sends the cameraman away because it's not safe. And then he takes the camera for himself, though, of course. It still must be filmed. And the next morning, so it's implied already, like he has waited there all night. The next morning, he shows his expert hidey hole. He pans the camera he took around. And he's like, this is, my POV shot of where I've been hiding. And like, you can see it looks pretty good. And it does look pretty good when they throw to the exterior shot. From the cameraman that's standing outside. And then they throw to multiple other exterior shots. They start rolling on the forest. There's like 3 camera guys out there writing different POVs. I
think what made me laugh harder than that was like he laid in the sticks all night. And now it wakes up in the morning and his new plan is to wait until dark.
Because he got a text from Jeff. And Jeff said, hey, I've just heard from these guys. They're going to keep looking for you all day long. And so he's like, I've got a good spot here. I'm just going to wait here till night. Time lapse. He's been laying there for 24 hours. No food or water. And I'm just imagining Jeff, like these guys have long gone. And Jeff is sending him text after text like, man, you better just stay there in the mud. They're still looking. They're right. I think I saw them right by you. You better just roll around in the mud for another 12 hours, probably.
Plus, that'll keep you safe from the Predator, from the movie Predator. Like, you can't be too safe out there.
I feel like he would put it a different way. He'd probably say, they're coming for you hard. they're coming for your real wet penis.
So that means, of course, Jeff gives him the text. That means he's back in with Rogue Team 4. Like, they're like, oh, baby, you're back in. You gave us that Buck knowledge. The only thing Buck can think to do that night, now that we've laid there for 24 hours, he had 24 hours to plan, is he says, maybe I'll head back to those 3 rings. Not really thinking he's got a reason for it, just that's the only thing left to do. So the rest of the team needs to make a distraction to clear the way for Buck to perform the magic spell that makes him the chosen one of a little girl. I hear it when I say it. I can't help it. That's in the show. I think that's Mormonism, right? Is that a Mormon thing? Like where you take the 3 rings and the little girl and that.
So the plan is, okay, so we've established that in the 2 directions of this forest, the 3 rings are in the north, and then everything else is to the south, like 40 feet away from that. So the idea is that they're going to send Huckleberry to go pull a bunch of tripwires. It's going to bring the entire army of the other side south, however many, somewhere between 2 and 36 men. Then once they are all south, Wild Bill and Willie are going to cut down a tree and cut off and lay it across the one road in the dark forest. So then once the guys have passed and they hear the chainsaw running and hear the tree fall over, they will turn around like a Benny Hill sketch and go back up north and then run into the fallen tree. And then this will buy Buck the 10 to 15 seconds he needs to complete the ritual. So their entire plan is predicated on the fact that this forest is only like 200 feet wide, or I'm sorry, tall. It only goes north-south. If there were any other roads or trails, if there was any other place to go in this woods, none of this would make sense. Their entire plan only makes sense if this whole thing is the size of a wealthy person's back lawn.
Also, everyone, if like when the trip lines go, they have to send their entire army to investigate the deer, or
if they only send half their army, none of this works. They need every single man, and they keep emphasizing they have dozens. This is not a small crew. They keep pointing out how many guys they have, but they always treat them as moving in one blob. It's in one formation. They cannot split up. They cannot pincer anything. That's their weakness. They don't They've not learned that advanced technique from the Ames team.
I think it's funny that Buck is always trying to add this little girl to the narrative. And people, they have trouble going along with it. They're like, we don't think this is a good idea. But it's so entrenched now in this lore that not only is this little girl part of it, the fact that she talks to Buck makes him the chosen one. So he's created a situation where not only is adding a little girl like part of the story, it's the most important thing in the entire woods. So in a way, like, good job, Buck, for like, because I mean, Huckleberry's like, hey guys, Predator's here, and they're like, yeah, cool, we agree to that. But Buck's like, no, you can't escape this. The little girl's here. Also, I'm the chosen one.
I like that what he did functionally was he took Jeff's storyline, I'm the chosen one of the little girl, and he said, no, this is the Buck show. I'm everything you just did. All the stuff you just did, me. Except for there can only be one. I'm the Highlander, and the quickening is a little girl's secret. And that's going to me. I'm the chosen one.
He even took the crybaby mind control stuff. He took it all. He took everything from Jeff.
He stole Jeff. He stole Jeff away from Jeff.
That's why he's Sex Jeff now.
So anyway, this is the plan, right? Buck's head north to the Three Rings. The rest of the team is gonna trip these tripwires while Willie and Wild Bill saw a tree down on the one road and then light it on fire. Which, I mean, fuck yeah, all right. Like, it's a bad plan, but there's something on fire, so I'm a fan of it. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like in the show, like Willie. When this new show, in the Sons of Appalachia, the new show they're getting started, like Willie's posting like, "Do you guys need a trap maker?" And I get the feeling they're cutting the whole trap thing because they're cutting the trap thing from these episodes. Like, you can see they're just not using it. It's not part of the format anymore. So
they never got it to work. They caught dogs once. They caught a pig once.
Yeah, because you can't trap the thing. So the only way an episode can end is you going, well, failed again. So, like, Willie can't be in there as a trap maker, but I'm saying he makes a pretty good MacGyver, relatively speaking. He's not, relatively speaking, to the rest of the team. Cutting down a tree and lighting it on fire makes him the MacGyver.
Yeah, and it's the most visually interesting part of this whole sequence. It's, they cut down a big tree. It collapses across the lane, and they catch it. It looks good. It looks like a real thing you would do in some sort of an action scene. Now, part of this, because they hit the tripwires and caused the convoy to go south, they do pass by Buck, forcing him, when he sees the headlights, to dive into the weeds for the sixth and final time in this episode. So in an episode that is 30 minutes long, if you take out the recap and all that stuff, they did 6 headlights dive into the weeds. So one every 5 minutes?
If you check the Dark Forest random encounter table, like numbers 1 through 99 are all dive into some leaves. You've seen some headlights. And number 100 is like a little girl has a secret. Like, they're just, it's all bad. It's all bad all the way down.
It's always new to him too, because he sees the headlights and he goes, oh crap, doggone it, I gotta bail,
oh,
get in the brush, oh crap,
so much
crap.
Trouble.
like from the headlights, he's like...
He treats it as fresh every single time. So Huckleberry's down there, he's ready, he's about to set off the tripwires. I know we've established their cameras, but I just think I would love it so much if he plucked one of those strings and just boom, they've replaced it with claymores or something. Just let's see if he notices. And Huckleberry hits the trip lines, and he hides more of the forest golf carts. They come down the road. Willie and Wild Bill jump out, and they chop down the tree. And they do say, like, they're gonna come running when they hear the saw, which is like, I'm glad they thought that far ahead. Willie gets really excited and goes, look at that! It fell down right across that road! Perfect! Just like I planned. He's so excited. The tree went the way I wanted it to. That's how far Willie has fallen. I used to build traps. I used to build elaborate traps, and now I knocked over a tree the right direction. I feel good. So they see the lights coming, Willie and Wild Bill, and they light the tree on fire. And, like, sure, you can see, like, the camera does pan side to side to get the whole tree. Like, and, like, look at this massive tree on fire. And you can see that on either side, it's just flat ground. And sure, the point of the forest golf carts is that they can go off-road. So, like, this scene should have ended with them just driving gently around the log and mowing them down in a hail of bullets.
I thought it was
But
funny
fuck
that
it.
Willie was so proud of himself, but he also, like, he can't really spin it in a way that it's cool. So he says, I quote, "We got like 4 foot of flames, and they just sat there staring at it." Like, yeah, that they looked at the log at the end. Yes, okay.
Not afraid of starting a forest fire, by the way.
Right.
What my favorite logic point with this is, you've now said we're so sure all they can do is sit there staring at it. So you guys could go help Buck right now.
No.
Like, you don't have to.
Buck has to be alone for the ritual.
But you could go. You could go if they're all there. Just go. Go hang out.
But instead, Huckleberry, Wild Bill, and Willie will meet up and decide we've done all we can do. Buck's got to do his thing.
It's time to
back
get
to
the
the
fuck
hotel.
out of here. It's time to get back to that
Call
bed
it
and
a
breakfast. Time to put on
Straight
the
up
little
says-
complimentary robe.
Because they've
got a
established they can't go
steam
back
shower.
to the cabin because that's, it's the bad guys that surrounded it, or we're going to burn it down. So it's like, nah, time to hit the hay.
Go back
Time
to
to
their
go-
mysterious shed where they said they were hiding something. Go there and, like, find all their intel. Free the little girl that's probably there.
See, these are all things you would do if you were trapped in the forest and there was tension over the fact that, look, we got to get out of here. We got to solve the mystery. We've got to, it's like, no,
Going home.
we've time to punch out.
Yep.
We've done. Go get
So-
some room service.
So back with Buck. Buck says the battery is dead on his radio, so now he's out of contact. But he's arrived at the 3 rings, and he looks at him and he says, "Dang, from where we was at, we thought these things was 10 feet tall, but no, they're massive." As a quick reminder, Huckleberry actually said they were 20 feet tall, and now that we can see them up close, they're almost exactly 10 feet tall.
A man standing with his arm up holding a torch gets about to the top of it. So yeah.
Yep, that's Jeff. He did it. He showed us like a full scale. Like, that's how you properly represent scale. It's like one of the few times they've done that in this entire show. Instead of just like using a Huckleberry, they're like, look, Jeff, he reaches up. It's 10 feet. There you go. They really think these wedding rings are real impressive, though. They're like, oh man, this is the fucking gate to Mordor that we're looking at right here. Buck reminds us again, only the special chosen one can summon the secret little girls, and that's him. His words, once again, just these are this is what happens in the episode. I will take no accountability for it. So he's doing the ritual. He lights the first torch, and he steps through the ring. Nothing happens. He lights the second torch, steps through the ring, and he says, "Ooh, the air got cold." He lights the third torch and steps through the final ring. Hillbilly Stargate. Boof. Right through, he's launched
Absolutely.
through space. There's like a superimposed image of Buck, like with his arms out, going through the wormhole tunnel, like, whoa, cybers. Nah, that doesn't happen. No, he says she's here, and he looks back through the rings, and the little girl is standing at the far one with her back turned. It's legitimately kind of a cool visual for like a low-budget folk horror movie. Like, you would at least recognize, you saw that still, just that still, you would be like, that's a horror movie.
Yeah, you'd know what movie it was.
I'm proud of them for that. And what I'm more proud of is, for once, they end on the good cliffhanger where you're like, fuck, what's going to happen next? They don't cut back to Huckleberry going like, and that little girl is the predator from the movie Predators or something. Like, he doesn't fuck it up.
Bad
They
example, 'cause
actually-
that is better.
Yeah, you're right. That is better.
So I do feel like some of the listeners / viewers are worried because there is only one episode left in this season and only one episode left before, in real time, the show took 2 years off from 2017 to 2019. So in this final episode, which is not a 2-parter, it's not an extra, it's a 39-minute long standard length, we need to figure out, one, who is the little girl and or the woman of the woods, because we have established they are not the same. We're going to find out they're not the same entities, which makes sense because the little girl, like the woman of the woods, was a hooded figure that breathed fire, right? So like, the question is like, is that thing still out there? The thing that they had to appease with the Indian stuff and that. So, okay. Two, of course, we have to know the nature of who is this rival Bigfoot hunting team. That's Jeff's entire mission. Surely, by the end of the season, he will at least, having spent weeks with these guys, he will at least be able to know who they are, why they're there, who they're working for, and so on. Three, why is the Predator from the hit film Predator there? Because by the end of this episode, they seemed real eager to move on from that. At no point were they worried about it showing up again. But is it an alien? Is it still there? Is it a danger to the other people in the region? Four, of course, what became of the Ravenmocker? Is it still around? They saw Bigfoot sign. Still alive, hasn't left. So surely he'll play a huge part in the finale. Again, there's only one episode left. What became of the Black Wolf? Is it actually dead? Is that what they were implying? I actually still don't know. They have stopped referring to it as a plot point. They still have a trap out there with 3 wire snares on it that I wish they would go check just to see if there's something or somebody else who's gotten stuck.
For example, there's a little girl in one of them.
But again, they came
it's also
out for
worth
2
mentioning
reasons.
that when they do find the woman of the woods, they need to capture her in order to get information about the rogue team that killed the Stonish giant.
Yeah, they came out here for 2 reasons, 2 separate converging reasons. There was no reason for there to be 2 reasons, but there were. One, because they spent 12 episodes with the Squatch Body team trying to lead them out here to coordinates. They definitely will go to those coordinates, Brockway. Probably the first thing will happen in this next episode. To kidnap the woman of the woods, bring her back to the 3rd rogue team to get information on the 1st rogue team to find the location of the body of the Stonish giant. Now they've got a Bigfoot. Now their mission is over. That was the main thing that brought them out. Then after they arrived there, they found out that the Black Wolf was there to escort Jeff's soul to the afterlife because he is Shawnee, and that meant that he was going to die. Now, they shot the Black Wolf, or the Black Wolf was shot by somebody else off screen. Now, normally you would not resolve a key plot point that way, but this show innovates its own rules. So that means the only other goal they've got left, capture the woman in the woods, get her back to Squatch Body so you can get the Stonish giant corpse. And then if in the course of that you need to capture or kill the Predator from the hit film Predator, you need to solve the mystery of the little girl, kill her, capture her, something. You need to kill or capture the Ravenmocker, which can take any form, and I don't feel like they've ever quite solved how to do that. So yeah, it's going to be a fast-paced 39 minutes. I can't wait to see how they do it.
Oh, I know how it goes. I see. For every point that you say, like, Trapper is basically going to say what you said. Like, he's going to go, okay, now we got to deal with the Ravenmocker. We got to deal with the Black Wolf. But every time he lists something, they're just going to cut to a shot of the base of, like, a pole and then pan up and you'll see its severed head on top of it. Like, just the Ravenmocker, the woman of the woods, the little girl, just one after another. Oh, that's on the pole. That's on the pole. Put that up on the pole. We got the Predator from the movie Predator. He's up on the pole. They're all up on the pole. Good job.
Just a shish kebab of every cryptid in this. We've done it. All killed off screen by other people.
Done and dusted. And if you look real close on 2 of the small twigs, those coordinates. Just speared on the twigs.
Because the one thing that would be insane, and I have not seen this next episode, so I'm just speculating. The one thing that would be crazy is if they introduced an entirely new thing and spent the entire episode going after that instead. That would be wild. That would be a wild decision to make.
To end the season,
I don't know what's
that would be fucking crazy. They wouldn't do that for a season finale.
That would be some George R.R. Martin stuff right there. Just keep adding plot lines.
I hope it never catches up. Be a little bit faster than your plot. That's all I'm looking for. All right. God, what an episode. Let's end with our favorite quotes. Jason, how about you?
When Buck first decides to come back to the team and reveal the secret he's been hiding for the last, 5 episodes. And he says, I didn't know that I had talked to that little girl until I saw a video on my phone. I think it's best, he holds up his phone, if I just show you guys for myself. And then Huckleberry says, hell yeah!
Reading that wrong, buddy. All right, Sean, what about you?
Okay, I think the one that made me laugh the most was when they're talking to Willie about like his ideas. Like, what are we going to do here to like trap the bad guys? And he says, hell, I ain't got much tools in the truck. Got a chainsaw, got a little bit of gasoline. Chop a tree across the road and set it on fire. It happened that fast.
It happened that fast, but what is not mentioned is there's also Wild Bill is there doing gospel hype.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so he goes,
yeah,
he goes, got a chainsaw, and Wild Bill's like, got a little bit of gasoline.
Praise
Lord, yes, Lord, yes. Got to chop a tree down across the road, set it on fire, and Wild Bill goes, woo, buddy.
I have a second one I really liked too, because when Buck was doing the ritual, there's no ceremony to it. He's just like, all right, I got that stupid fucking thing is lit. Oh, that's kind of cool. Then he says, it's obvious Jeff wasn't the one. I really like that.
He took Jeff away from him. He took all of his Jeffness. My favorite one, it's that same scene. It's the big finale, right? He said, like, here's the 3 rings. We're going to unlock the Hillbilly Stargate, go to Hillbilly Egypt, fight advanced Hillbilly aliens, the whole thing. And he's doing this serious, tense, supernatural ritual. So he lights the torches. He steps through. He lights the torches. And as he lights the second one, he pauses and looks up at the rings and goes, well, these things look pretty cool. I'll give you that.
I love that. I like that even in the middle of that, like, he gets interrupted by the ghost. Or he's like, these things look pretty cool. We'll say that. She's here. Cracked me up.
Just gotta call out how cool these little rings are.
Uh-huh.
And that's so great that none of you said the line where after he lit the final one and he had the torch in his hand and he's like waiting for it to show up and he says, gotta find a hole to stick this thing in.
To get the
Just
girl to come.
delete this whole episode, Jamie.
Yeah.
We need to get it out of our system.
This is a
Just delete
mistake.
it.
They didn't delete it. We can be the heroes and delete it and save you all from this. Surely we will.
Because you had to be a Bigfoot teacher, you had to open up your mouth. You had to be a Bigfoot teacher. All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You had to have the white hot spotlight. You had to be a Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.